Very serious.
We could have had the perfect night. Love in the air as I placed your hand into mine. And hearts beating wildly, fueled by the feelings deep inside. And I was wasting my time, 'cause he was on your mind. You had a quick change of heart, so why didn't you tell me how you felt straight from the start? 'Cause now you're not here and slowly my world falls apart. And I fell in love too soon. And I fell in love with you. If I wasn't good enough, would you tell me so? If we're not meant to be, then I need to know. Right now you're the only thing that I really need in my life. So don't say goodbye. 'Cause you're telling me how we had tried this all once before. Can I win anymore? So why can't you see how I need you more and more every day? Can't believe you walk away. And how far down will I take this pain with me? You'll never see how I'm trying to beg you, please. So don't say goodbye. I need you in my life. So don't say goodbye. If I wasn't good enough, would you tell me so? If we're not meant to be, then I need to know. Right now you're the only thing that I really need in my life. So don't say goodbye. I need you in my life. So don't say goodbye. Yeah. If I wasn't good enough, would you tell me so? If we're not meant to be, then I need to know. Right now you're the only thing that I really need in my life. So don't say goodbye. I need you in my life. So don't say goodbye.
Hello, Sage. This is Cody. Or how? Wait a minute. Is my name Cody or Colby? I'm not really sure. So I will, there in fact, internally. Hang on a second. God damn it. I'm trying to. Wait a minute. I think your name might be Sully. I don't fucking know what your goddamn real name is. Alright, give me a call back. Wait a minute. Sage. I'm sorry.
Man,
Please don't record this.
it's okay, I won't.
Okay, we are back. Made some adjustments yesterday for the stream. Losing my voice here already. So we've been doing some stuff. I've been doing some updates. Also, I don't know what's going on. Thank God I'm losing my voice. Is my producer here? No, my producer's not even here. Perfect. We're all on our lonesome here. It's just me and the show. But let's see if we got everything working. Stand by. Hello?
Hey,
What?
you are not Kevin Costner.
Perfect! I am then again not Kevin Costner. Back again to not be Kevin Costner. This is a true statement. Unlike the true statements that are not coming out of Minnesota, and the disinformation, misinformation is all over the road. It's all over the road. So, I got some things to talk about. I think I got everything working in here. I believe. No, I don't have everything working. Do I? No, I don't. That's okay. All better now. Let me do this right here. Let me click this right here. Okay, perfect. All right, now we're up and running. I should have everything done by today. I have to do a couple test runs, and I should have everything up and done. So here's the plan. Here's what's going on. Here's the plan for the future. So I'm going to be going both on TikTok and YouTube. And those will probably be the platforms I'm going to go. I got a decent following on TikTok. I think I got like 5,000 followers. And then, of course, on YouTube, I have whatever I have. I don't remember, 27 or something. But I got a decent following over there. So TikTok basically came out, and for one time, you could only use the studio for Windows computers. They didn't work with Mac. There was no Mac studio for TikTok. So you could only go live through the phone. Well, they've made a change, and now they have studio for the Mac. And I run Macs. So now I have an opportunity, which I'm not doing it today. I'm going to probably start doing it. I might do a short one tomorrow and then start it first of the year, where I'm going to basically also be going to TikTok and, doing that. So we might get some people from over there. And, of course, there are some crazies on TikTok, 100% crazies on TikTok. And the crazies on TikTok, I can actually make it where they can actually click into the show if they want to. I can give them a mic. And it's sort of like calling in, or it's sort of like that type of system right there. I'm going to move me over right here. Let me move me over there. That's better. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing over there. And like I said, we're kind of in a rebranding, a little bit of changing, because I want to talk about basically more trucking, more logistics, and more geopolitical stuff, basically, than just focusing on one thing. A couple reasons for that. Well, one reason is I have people that want to come on my show, that want to, that are in that field. I also have a possibility of getting some sponsors, which would be nice, because if I get some sponsors, I might actually hire some people for either research or stuff like that, which would be nice. So there's a lot more opportunities for me to be able to see, like the guy right there, that I am not Jason Pote. This is a true statement. Also, I'm not that he's normally a producer, which I guess he's too lazy to even show up in my Discord. But my goal is to basically also be able to offer that opportunity. So having, hang on one second, I got all kinds of problems. Having possibility of advertisers and stuff like that would benefit the channel, right? It would benefit the channel, and then basically bring in opportunities for people that, either are fans of the channel, or even bring in opportunities for people who hate the channel. Because I have those people too. I have a lot of those people, actually. But that's what the rebranding's going for, and I've already been offered some stuff if I were to rebrand that, if I were to go down the logistics road. So that's what we're planning on doing, because like I said, at that point, we can kind of build the channel and be able to pay people to assist me in building the channel, which I think that's a good thing, right? Right now, I think that's a good thing, because we've got all kinds of problems going on. I did drop a short. Let me get to my short. I did drop a short this morning that seems to be going quite well. Let me get back to my shorts. And I just wanted to kind of cover this real well, because obviously we covered yesterday, we did the fraud with the daycares and things like that. And we talked a lot about that. And the biggest thing was, I hear people were saying was, why, what type of daycare what daycare basically opens up at 10 o'clock? Well, let's find out. Of the daycare center in Minnesota that is under the fraud scandal. And what I want you to do is use critical thinking and common sense and just think about what he's saying. And I'm going to ask you a question. Are you ready?
I'm not a fan of that.
2 to 10 p.m. may not be your typical daycare hours, so can you explain why it is that
The
you
reason,
offer
2 to 10 p.m. is not your typical daycare hours. Why do you have a 2 to 10 p.m. daycare hours? What do you think, guys? What do you think? What would your answer be? Well, what about this? Is it possible that most of the kids that come to his daycare might be in school from 8 to 2? Ooh, yeah, we talked about, remember second shift family members that are working? And they're only needed to cover the hours of 2 to 10 because, maybe the parents work second shift. So if it was me, I would probably do the same thing and fall into a special niche of handling second shift parents whose children are in daycare from 2 to 10. Because there's no need for them to bring, they probably have more kids that are older than more infants that they'll probably stay at home with anyways, right?
during
the
these
reason
hours?
for that is we're after school hours. So most of our clients, not most of our clients, all of our clients is after school hours. So
Make sense? Make sense? School goes from 8 to 2. So if you start from 2 to 10, well, school usually goes to like 2:15, 2:30. So you start bringing people in at 2, they can start prepping and getting everything ready. So when the first kids come in at 2:30, you're already set to go. So 2 to 10, right? 2 to 10? Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Second shift is 3 to 11. I worked second shift and was 2 to 10. So I guess it varies. But even if it's 2 to 11, my second shift was 2 to 10. So I don't know. I mean, that varies, right? And at some point, 10 o'clock at night, somebody can probably get home to get the kid, right? See what I'm saying? Sounds about right. Sounds about right. I don't know. Makes sense to me. And even if you're only doing, let's say you drop the kid off, or the kid comes from school and gets dropped off there, and they're only there from 2 to 6, and the parent picks them up at 6. You see what I'm saying? So because the kids don't have to stay for the full time from 2 to 10. So you could start at 2, kids get dropped off at 2:30, they're there from 2:30 to 6, the parents pick them up at 6, they're only at daycare for 3 hours. You see how this kind of, it's not like a one-size-fits-all situation? Okay, now that we figured that out, let's move on. Let's move on. I just want to make sure that you guys know that the debt clock is still going up. So here's some of the stuff I want to talk about. And here's what kind of today's show is going to be about in regards to that. So one of my questions for you guys in the chat, because I still have questions. Like one of my questions is, where the hell is my producer, Truck Diver? That was one of my questions, but hey, we'll get back to that later. This is what happens when you don't pay people. They don't show up. So one of my questions is it better to make $1 or is it better to save $1? So do you get more money if you save $1 or is it better to make $1? Okay. It's kind of a business question, kind of one of those things we throw out there as you're building your business and creating your empire. If it's in trucking, if it's in logistics, if it's in daycare center, whatever it is. Is it better to make $1 or save $1? Okay. And that's a question that you should kind of know the answer if you're going to go into business. So one of the things that we understand is that if you make $1, you got to pay taxes on it, right? And a lot of times it's harder to make that $1. It could be more costly to make that $1 compared to saving $1. If you save $1, you get the full $1, right? You get that money. And usually so a lot of times what businesses will do, and you'll see this, and we're actually seeing this now. Right? We're going to talk about this in a minute. As we stare at the national debt clock, which is continuously still going up, not down, which I'm not sure how that works because I thought we just got $20 trillion of investment and the national debt was supposed to go down, still going up. Okay. So a lot of times what will happen is if a business, not, to be completely honest, almost all the time is your first thing. So let's say if you're in a business and you start to accrue more costs, like if all of a sudden the cost of your goods go up, or all of a sudden the government's going to start charging a tax called a tariff, and that is an expense that is now costing you money, well, you're now losing profits. Okay, that's going to be coming out of your profits. So one of the first things you do is you have to look at your business and say, okay, I'm now losing profits. What is going on? And you figure out what is going on. So let's say it's a tariff. And you're saying, well, it's now costing me an extra $5, let's say, per unit for a tariff, or $2 per unit that I sell. So I got a couple options here. The first option is to raise the cost of my good $2 to maintain the profits that I was used to getting, right? Because I don't want to lose profits. I'm not in business to lose profits, right? I want to maintain them. So when a business looks at that, one of the first things they don't want to do is raise the price to the consumer, okay? Because what happens is if I raise the price to the consumer, I risk losing the consumer, okay? That's a risk I don't want to take. That's a dangerous risk, okay? That is not first option for business, okay? Raising the price to the customer is not first option. And we see this in trucking, right? A lot of times, let's say the cost of your repairs are going up and the cost of this is going up, and there are times that the customer's just not willing to pay more money. So although you need more money because the cost of your mechanic just went up, the customer might just say, well, I just go to this guy, and because his costs are not going up, your costs are going up, so I'm just going to go to the other guy. And then you risk losing that customer. And it's very hard to get that customer back. It's very hard to get that customer back, okay? So now you have to work twice as hard now, right? First, you went after them for price. They didn't like that. So now you got to come down on price. But if you can't come down and match the other guy, you also have to bring either a cheaper price or more value. So it's hard to then win that customer back. Same thing with me and you and everybody else, right? If you're buying a certain type of food or certain type of thing, and next thing you know, you're like, hey, Oreo cookies, man, I love Oreo cookies. Well, first person in this chat that says, yeah, I can tell you like Oreo cookies, you're booted. No, I'm just kidding. But basically, let's say Oreo cookies, right? Oreo cookies are actually vegan, so I can eat them. But if the price of Oreo cookies go up, I know you're all saying, who knew ye liked Oreo cookies? If the price of Oreo cookies go up, I might say, you know what, that's too expensive for Oreo cookies. Hot fries. Hot fries. I love hot fries. I don't know, just a thing growing up. I know you might not know what they are. It's sort of like a veggie thing anyways. If the price goes up, and I'll just look at that and say, I'm not going to get Oreo cookies. What's the off-brand of Oreo cookies? The Hydra ones or whatever, okay? Fine, get those, okay? And I get those cookies. I start to build a taste for those cookies, and then I don't need the Oreo cookies anymore. So the only way I'm going to buy the Oreo cookies is if all of a sudden they go on sale, or the price drops, because now it's more competitive to the off-brand Oreo cookies, okay? So it's very difficult to win that person back. Why would I buy Oreo cookies when now I'm used to the off-brand cookies? Can't call them Oreo cookies. Oh, anyways, I'm used to the off-brand, and I buy those, okay? So a lot of times customers don't want, business owners don't want to raise the customer's price. So the first thing they do is they start to basically see where they can save money. Because obviously, like we talked about, it's more profitable to save $1 than make $1, okay? So then they're going to start to see where they can save money. What can they do to cut costs to bring the profits back up? Now, I've seen this in lots of businesses recently. Some that are not anecdotal. I wish I had a producer back here. Either way, you guys know what I mean. Some that are basically firsthand, that one of the things they do is they can lay people off. They can cut people out. Lay them off. Get rid of them. Company might downgrade 15, 20% at some point and get rid of all of that and just put more workload on the people they already have. Okay? Now, they might pay a little bit more. They might get you a little bump in salary because you're now doing twice the work. Let's figure out how that math works. So you'll see a little bit of a bump in wages, but you'll also see unemployment go up, which we are seeing right now. That is a fact, okay? Unemployment is going up, but wages are going up because companies are laying off to maintain profits, and they're giving a little bit of extra money to the employees because they're giving them more work. That makes sense? Are you with me? Okay. Now, I'll turn the phones on in a minute. I know that's a call-in show. I get it. I'll turn the phones on in a minute. But we're starting to see that process take effect. We're also still seeing, because of tariffs, the price of goods. Now, at some point, you can't cut so much, so you're starting to see the price of goods go up. Like coffee. We saw the price of coffee go up because there was just no cuts they could make in Brazil. They had to raise the price of coffee, right? They just couldn't make any, right? So we're starting to see this. So these are the signs of the economy. And I had this discussion with a guy named 7Q, who's a moron, who basically he was so focused on the Epstein files. I really don't care about the Epstein files to be at this point. Like it doesn't. I don't care. I don't care who puts them out. I don't care. Like people are like, oh, Democrats said it's a hoax. No, Republicans said it's a hoax, and I don't care, to be honest. It's bad. Law enforcement should be handling that, but I don't care who put them out. So my biggest thing was the economy. So when everybody says, well, the price of gas is down or the price of eggs are down, what they're not looking at is the reasoning behind that. And what I want to start to do is give you the reasoning behind some of these things so that you understand what's going on, because some of you might want to start a business. And some of you might be going in the trucking, or you might be running your business, or you might be running logistics, or you might want to start daycare center, whatever. And you kind of need to know what business owners need to know, or hire people that need to know, is what's going on in the economy, what's going on in geopolitical, what's going on, what movements are being made, because businesses normally are dynamic, right? They're not static. So that's kind of what we're doing here. So we're starting to see unemployment go up, and we're starting to see wages go up. That's a big sign that businesses are at their point where they've decided to become more efficient so that they can maintain their profits. Now, at some point, they're not going to be able to maintain that, because we know that at some point people start to say, this is too much of a workload. I'm out of here. I'm not doing this. I'm not paid enough for doing this. And then eventually they have to raise the price of their goods. But your first movement in regards to problems like tariffs is to be more efficient, not just to raise the price of the good, which we're seeing. So when all these economists, and maybe I wasn't, but when all these other economists are like, the price of goods are going to go right up, it's going to skyrocket instantly. No. I was saying no. It's not going to hit instantly. It's going to take time. And then what's going to happen is once that happens, it's going to be very difficult to come back down again. Okay. Kind of got that. We got that. With me? I mean, I'm not, you don't have to be an economist to understand the aspect of business. You just have to be in business, right? You just have to be in business, which I am. Okay. The dollar's biggest drop in decades, right? The dollar's biggest drop in decades. Now, what I wanted to explain this to people is this is also a problem. This is also a problem in regards to tariffs. And I'm going to explain this also and what this actually means. Like, interpret this into English because, people don't understand sometimes. So the dollar functions also on supply and demand, okay? Like, if Donald Trump was telling the truth that $20 trillion worth of investment was coming into the United States, the dollar wouldn't be dropping. There would be more demand for dollar bills, right? There'd be more demand for that because you would have to take, let's say, Qatar money. I have no idea what they are. Saudi Arabia money, Japanese, all these other countries would have to take their currency and switch it to U.S. dollars, right? And you guys, gold and silver are going up, right? Gold and silver are going up. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about gas prices too. Gas prices falling this far is not a good, it's not good. It's bad. That's bad. Now, I know nobody wants to pay for gas. Shit, you all want to drive around with, free gas, but it's bad because there are American companies that are going to be laying off in the oil field because it's not profitable to drill oil. It's not profitable, right? Why would you? Would you work at your job if it wasn't profitable? Of course not. All right. So the dollar. So the more currency. So if all these other countries were investing in the United States, they would have to be switching their currency to U.S. dollars, which would mean there's more of a demand for U.S. dollars, which means that the dollar would be worth more. Make sense? I mean, think about that. I'm in another country and I'm going to donate $10 trillion of my money and build something in the U.S. Well, none of you are taking Sage dollars. You should all take Sage dollars. Just so you know, each and every one of you, matter of fact, you are all welcome to text me your version of a Sage dollar. Just so you know, numbers on the screen. I don't even care if it makes fun of me. That's funny. And I will post Sage dollars. Go to ChatGPT and obviously don't make it that something that's going to get me kicked off of YouTube. But if you want, go to ChatGPT and make a Sage dollar, you either making fun of me or not, and I will legitimately post that because that's funny. Thank you so much for the subscription. I don't know why it didn't show up, but I will fix that later. I don't know why it didn't show up, but thank you so much. Yes, that was brilliant. Make a Sage dollar. Okay. Anyways, if I had Sage dollars, nobody in the U.S. are going to accept my Sage dollars. Now, I'm going to give you 10 trillion Sage dollars to invest. So, but you're not going to work for that. Your construction company is not going to accept my Sage dollars. I have to now convert that to U.S. dollars. So I got to go there and say, hey, here's my 10 trillion Sage dollars. Will you give me one U.S. dollar? No, well, let's just pretend it was 1 for 1, obviously. Now I need 10 trillion U.S. dollars. Right? Perfect. So now there's a demand for U.S. dollars. There's a demand for U.S. dollars. That would raise the value of the dollar because there's more demand for it. But if there's less countries wanting U.S. dollars, it goes down. So when I try to explain the economy to people, if you were to take gas prices, the economy is great, gas prices are cheap. No, that if you understand supply and demand, if the economy was good, gas prices would be higher because more people there would be a demand for gas. There would be a demand for diesel because there'd be more trucks delivering freight. There'd be more people driving cars. That's not good. But let's go over and play some stuff. Let's play. Oh, let me turn the phones on because I don't know how long this show's going to be. All right, phones are on, Sonia.
His number, 856-600-4654. Sage Outcast. I have questions.
You know what I need to do? I need to train one of my useless cats. I have some useful cats and useless cats. Like the Maine Coons are pretty useful because my wife does a TikTok page. But some of the other idiots are useless. I need to train one of them to bring me drink. I wonder if I could train one of my cats. I've seen it on TV where they'll do it with dogs. The dogs will go right to the refrigerator and bring them a beer. I don't drink beer, but if I'd have to figure something out because if it was bottled water, knowing my luck, my cat would pierce through the bottled water, causing the bottled water to leak the whole way up here, and I'd be out of water by the time it got here. I got to figure that out. All right, let's move on. Let's move on while I focus on trying to figure that out.
Danger is happening in global finance. The U.S. dollar is collapsing, and it's hitting Americans where it hurts. The U.S. dollar has plummeted 9% against the euro, and it's only July. But this goes bigger than the exchange rates. Global trust in the U.S.'s currency is eroding fast. But why is the dollar falling so rapidly? And why should you even care? Well, it turns out it matters much more than you think. Find out why on today's episode of the Infographic Show. Why the U.S. dollar has fallen against the euro. And don't forget...
I like these Infographic Show. I usually don't... I like them just because I can kind of explain them, and they have lots of graphics. Probably that's why they're called infographic.
Hit to subscribe. It's official. The dollar is in free fall. The US dollar is plunging against global currencies, and the impact is impossible to ignore. As of December 31st, 2024, $1 was equivalent to 0.966 euros. By
Now, this is a couple months ago, so it has gotten worse, but this is about 5 months ago.
June 10th, 2025, $1 can only buy 0.8747 euros. In practical terms, €1 now costs $1.14.3 instead of $1.04.1, making everything from travel to imports more expensive. That is a 9.8% surge in the euro's value. So what's going on, and why does it matter? At its core, it's all about confidence. When investors lose faith in a country's economic future, they move their money elsewhere.
Okay, confidence. First one is confidence. So, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Much appreciated. All right. Which I got to figure out. I've got to figure out why that's not showing up. I do apologize, but I'll go back into Stream Elements and fix that. Anyways, confidence is a big factor in regards to any type of business, okay? If you are working for a company and there's all kinds of changes and all kinds of things going on and the layoffs and everything else, you lose confidence in the company in which you work or you're working at, right? That'd be scary. They just laid off 15 people. You don't know if you're going to get laid off. There's a bunch of changes happening, complete shift and stuff. And what's one of the things that you might start looking for another job because you have very low confidence in the company that you're working at. All right. Just that confidence level. Well, the same thing happens with countries, right? And the same thing happens with the United States. If the United States is having a lot of turmoil, there's a lot of chaos, confusion, in fighting, other countries are not going to invest in that country because they don't want to lose their investment. And we're going to talk about the Fed, too. We're going to talk a little bit about the Fed because I always get these people saying, abolish the Fed. And I want to actually, if somebody feels that way, please call in because I have a couple questions for you, to be completely honest. So confidence is a big one. So same thing happens with countries. If you have low confidence, a lot of other countries, the investment and the companies that in other countries, they have boards and people that basically decide, hey, should we invest in the United States right now? Is that a good investment right now? I mean, are we going to lose our money? And these boards might say, we might want to wait because there's too much chaos going on. There's too much confusion and there's not enough confidence in the country. And we can all admit that there's not a lot of confidence in our country right now, okay? There's the numbers are out of whack. We've had government shutdowns. We have fighting between the Democrats and the Republicans, fueled by, the President of the United States of America, who is basically causing diversity, calling everybody on the left crazy, rather than bringing everybody together. There's a lot of chaos. No, I mean, you have to admit 100% that that's happening. Hang on. My stream health is excellent, so if it's spinning for you, it's you. Oh, hang on. I just switched. Hang on.
Anthony G.
Hello, thank you for calling the Sage Outcast Show. How may I directly, indirectly answer your call?
Hey, Sage, what up?
What's going on, brother?
It's Anthony.
Hey, what's going on?
I listening to your show.
Yeah.
You talking about confidence in countries.
Yeah.
If the world's so unconfident in the Trump regime in America, is that why they invested $9.6 trillion into our economy?
They didn't.
Oh, they didn't?
No.
Oh, you sure?
Yes.
Well, I guess that's your facts then. I'm looking at the black and white right now, but
can you show me where can you show me where it was actually invested into our country?
Yeah, so you don't consider that foreign companies invest this money into our country to build new stuff, or foreign countries have given us money to invest?
They've given us trillions of dollars?
Yeah, $9.6 trillion in the first year.
Where is that investment from, and where did it go?
Let me give you the breakdowns and pull it up for you.
Mm-hmm. That it's actually invested into our country right now.
Yeah, if you can give me just a second.
Not promises to invest, actual investment. Money actually hitting our country. Because I want to tell you something. If it did, let me give you an example. If it did, do you know the inflation that would cause?
Well, okay, while my numbers are pulling up, just say a company X, right?
Yeah.
Decides to build a brand new factory here, and they put, say, 500 million into that. You don't count that as an investment into our economy?
No, you said 9.6 trillion.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that there have been some millions of dollars of investment, even a little bit of billions. What has not happened is trillions of dollars. Do you understand the inflation that would happen if $9.6 trillion was just flooded into our economy? If that was true?
I'm
No,
giving you the breakdown.
I asked you a question.
It's not flooding in like a cash bag being handed out.
Well, you just said that 9.6. I asked you not promises.
Right.
You said actual
so foreign
investment.
direct investments,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's what we're talking about,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Foreign countries directly investing,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Okay. It says. Now you trust Grok, right? Or is Grok
No, I
not
don't.
valid for
No,
you?
I don't trust AI. No. Do you have any
So
white?
you'd rather like Gemini and Google? Is that work
No,
with
I'm
you?
looking for any type of white papers, or I'm looking for any type of even the .gov isn't saying that we're getting 9 point. Only Donald
okay,
Trump
so
is
you
saying.
accept .govs, right?
Yeah, can you show me like any type of actual charts on money from investment, like anything that's actually put in there, and what the investment has gone into?
Yep. Let me see it.
Like, where's the money? Is what I'm trying to say. Like, first, I want you to answer my question while you're looking that up. Do you know how bad inflation would go up if $9.3 trillion was just invested into our country?
How would that make inflation go up? So if Japan donates $1 trillion to build their factories here, how would that make inflation go up?
Because okay, anytime money enters the economy, it causes an inflation aspect to the economy. So here's how it works.
Wait, say that again?
So let's say somebody has to print money. The United States government would have to print money to cover the Japanese money. So if I have Sage dollars, I explained this and you might have missed it during the show, in the beginning of the show. If I have 10, I'm going to use simple numbers. 10, because you use 9, I'm going to round up to 10. If I have $10 trillion of Sage dollars and I now want to invest in the United States, I now have to take that $10 trillion and convert it to US dollars. So the US would have to print $10 trillion to cover my Sage dollars. The printing of that money and distribution of that money is inflationary.
Yeah. But see, that's where you're wrong, because we're not printing the money and distributing it. They're using their money that they already have, right?
Yeah.
Their country's money, the Japanese money, right?
Yeah.
And they're paying with their money.
No. Stop. American businesses don't take Japanese money. Hang on. American businesses.
Every country closes their deals in U.S.
Hang on. You don't understand how money works. You don't understand how money works. American businesses are not taking Japanese money. Have you ever received Japanese money for work?
Yeah, they're not. I don't think you understand how it's working. Say if there's a factory that costs $1 billion to build, and the Japanese build it here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
With their money.
Yeah.
Being closed out in USD, which every country in the world, that's why we're the reserve currency.
So that you just had to add that money to the US dollar system. Because you have to convert it.
It's not. It's already in the system.
No, it's not. No, it's not in the system. You have to create it because it came from an outside.
And then anyways,
no, hang on.
They're not printing it and handing it out to people.
We're not pivoting. We're not pivoting.
Moron. They're buying
We're
the
not
materials
pivoting.
and building the factory
We're not pivoting. We're not pivoting. So there is already U.S. dollars in our system that are accounted for.
Right.
Okay.
You don't think there's U.S. dollars in their system, you fucking moron?
Well, I'm trying to be polite with you. No, they don't have.
They already have the USDs.
So they. Okay, perfect.
Every currency trades out in U.S. dollars.
Okay. No, they
don't have to fucking print it.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Yeah.
If $10 trillion came from another country, let's say they did hold that money, and it was pushed into our economy, that's the same as us printing it.
Yeah. No.
Okay. So that's inflationary.
It's not, because they already have the fucking money. What if they were just to pay us in gold? Oh, do we have to print the gold?
No, because we don't pay.
No, they already have the gold, and they're giving it to us.
We don't pay contractors or businesses to build in gold.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, so the money, the Japanese money are not holding $1 trillion US.
Oh, you don't think so?
Well, you just said they're using.
Oh, you really don't think Nintendo has $1 trillion USDs when they sell their Switches in fucking USD, you asshole? You don't think they have it?
Okay, I don't. I think I was very polite to him, to be honest. But if he's going to call in and call me a bunch of names, obviously he's not going to have a conversation. He's going to go. So what I was trying to explain to him, and this, they're going to explain this in this video too. Maybe this video will break it down for him even more. When another country invests in U.S., they come in and they basically switch their money. First he said they're using their money. Then they're saying they're using our money. So he's already pivoting. And I just asked him a question. So what I tried to explain to him was, if you take $10 trillion, even if it's U.S. dollars, and some other country was holding it, and they invest it into our economy, I don't care who you are, that's inflationary. Because that $10 trillion is now going to create jobs. Those jobs are going to have to be competitive jobs, which means that people might leave McDonald's to go work for construction. But then you have to replace the people at McDonald's. So now it's harder to find people at McDonald's, so you have to pay more to work at McDonald's. So anytime you take, and we saw this during COVID. Like that was your example. So what I was trying to explain to him that he doesn't want to listen is that if you we don't have $10 trillion that was, first I asked him, I get it. Is it promissory? Maybe. But that does not mean we actually got the money. Oh, we got somebody else calling. I'm never going to finish the videos.
Yep.
Sage Outcast, how can I indirectly direct your call until you start calling me names and I have to hang up on you? Sorry about that. Go ahead. Hey.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Bubba, how we doing today, man?
Good. What's going on?
Hey, man, I just saw you in YouTube shorts, man. You know, I saw you mention the Japanese yen carry trade, man. That's a big deal, especially on our economy. Like, especially when it comes to our we're I'm sorry, I just worked the night shift, man. I shoveled my driveway. Bear with me here.
Okay.
Since we are the world reserve currency, you know, it allows us, gives us the advantage to run higher trade deficits than Japan. And if you're familiar with the yen carry trade, like you pointed out there earlier,
well, I was trying to explain to him that what I was actually explaining was the fact that was consumer confidence, that our consumer confidence in the United States was down, and when you have bad consumer confidence, the dollar drops because when other countries don't feel that we're a safe place to put money. And then he called up and said, "Hey, well, how would you not have consumer confidence when the government just got $10 trillion of investment?" And I said, "We didn't get $10 trillion of investment.
We didn't. And we're not making as much money from tariffs as they say we are.
And we're not making much money from tariffs, correct? Because that's
I was
my
just
specialty.
Curious who you were. You just randomly pulled out the yen carry. I was scrolling through my feed.
No, what happened was I started explaining. So here's what I am. I specialize in logistics. I own a logistics company. I specialize in logistics, geopolitical and stuff like that, and tariffs, all this stuff. This is what I do. So what I just happen to use Japan as an example is because he said that he used Japan as saying that they gave us all this money. And I said, we did not receive $10 trillion worth of investment. I said, do you know how inflationary it would be if we literally got $10 trillion of money from other countries thrown into our economy in a very short period in 8 months? It would be so inflationary in regards, and he didn't believe me. So when I tried to explain to him that you have to take that Japanese money and convert it to U.S. dollars, because I, as a company, in shipping, I'm not taking Japanese dollars for payment for shipping freight. Sorry.
Okay.
And I was trying to explain to him that
I was scrolling through my feed. Yeah. My apologies, man. Yeah. I was scrolling through my feed, and I was like, this motherfucker talked about the Japanese yen carry trade?
No. Which I know, the Japanese yen carry trade, that was the one Buffett made a ton of money on, right?
Yeah. You would essentially, as a business, you would take loans from Japan at their negative interest rates, right?
Right.
In yen, and then you would convert it back to dollars, right?
Right, and that
it was
was
this huge thing. And then when Japan raises interest rates to combat the stagflation, it's the 2 decades loss of stagflation that was caused by their
right.
their
Warren
housing
Buffett
crash.
made a ton of money on doing that back in the 90s, I think it was.
They're still doing it in 2023 when they raised
when they first
interest
started
rates.
When they first started
in Japan, and all the people that borrowed, like Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, Chase Bank and whatnot, J.P. Morgan and Chase, when the interest rates came up, they shit a brick because they're like, oh shit.
Then they sold the Japanese dollars that made money. Like, I can't remember. There was actually something Warren Buffett did that started that with Japan with the interest rates, buying Japanese dollars at that point, and then waiting
you'd buy Japanese yen, yes.
Yeah, and that was I can't remember what that was.
He's borrowing essentially at a lower interest rate than you could in America.
Right.
I heard you talking about Japan. I was like, oh shit, he's talking about something.
No. I mean, that's a show which I can't talk about because I do know what you're talking about, that process. And there was actually something I got to remember what it was called, but it was something they did in I believe the 1990s. And Warren Buffett was one of the lead people that were doing it with Japanese money and then waiting for
George
it to go.
Soros.
What was it?
He's George. I think you're thinking of the George Soros short of the British sterling pound.
No, they did it with Japan too. I'll look that up. though. But I'm gonna drop off because I'm gonna do another thing because this is kind of over the top. This is a whole other show.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
No, you're good. I subscribe to the channel because when I do talk about this one, I can have you on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Thank you, brother. All right. So I was trying to explain this to the other guy that Japanese people don't just they if they invest, they take their money, transfer it to U.S. dollars, and then pay companies to deliver freight, build things like that. That's how it works. Like they're not holding. Oh crap! This is a good topic, I guess. Everybody and their brothers call. Well, they might be off for the holiday. Oh, I gotta push my. Hang on.
Steve Brown, 19.
All right. Hi, thank you for calling the Stage Outcast Show. How may I indirectly direct your call?
Yeah, I was just seeing your live stream, just calling in about your conversation about foreign exchange.
Oh, Lord, this is a big topic. Yes, what you got?
Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of talk about I just briefly saw earlier as I was scrolling through, you were talking about basically how you feel that money has to be created whenever foreign exchange happens. I think a hypothetical that was given was, we'll say a Japanese company like Nintendo wants to do business in America. They could do a number of things. They could start a branch or division in America. They could hold assets within America, but they can also choose not to do that and operate with, outside of the bounds of the actual country. So whenever actual foreign exchange happens, it's based off the GDP, right? So it's based off of the monetary value of the initial country that you're trading.
Hang on, stop. If I, a foreign country, want to manufacture widgets in the United States, and I want to build a widget manufacturing company that's going to cost me $10 billion in U.S. dollars. I take my Sage dollars and I convert them to U.S. dollars to pay the manufacturing companies to build, correct?
Sure.
That was the topic. That was it. Done deal.
Yeah, okay, so that's your hypothetical.
That's not a hypothetical.
You're a country
that's not a hypothetical.
that has a currency, right? Your Sage dollars is not a real thing as far as the foreign exchange market is concerned. You could have a crypto based off of Sage dollars, but what I'm saying is there would have to be an implied value in Sage.
Okay, so let's
do
this.
Implied value of Sage?
Let's do this. Japan wants to make Japanese fuel injectors in the United States. They need to build a manufacturing plant in America, and they need to pay for that, and it's going to cost $10 billion to build that manufacturing plant to make fuel injectors in the United States. Japan takes their Japanese money, converts it to U.S. dollars so that they can pay the construction companies to build that, correct?
Right, it's called a price level adjustment due to exchange rate.
Which I understand.
Not inflation caused by printing money.
I just need, that's true, right? They need to convert their dollars to U.S. dollars to pay the contractors, correct?
Well, yeah, any local currency you work in, you have to pay in that.
Now, if let's say, hang on, let's say it was $10 trillion I was ready to give the U.S. to basically build manufacturing. Would that be an inflationary aspect to the dollar if I were to have to convert Japanese $10 trillion? I don't know what the conversion rate is. So let's say it's 50 trillion Japanese dollars just to get $10 trillion. Would that be an inflationary aspect to the U.S. dollar?
No, because it's not based on paperweight.
No, but it's
wait a minute.
How is
it's not based on dimes. It's not donuts to dollars. It's not 1-to-1. It's the inherent value. So you can have a cajillion, 1 billion, whatever infinity number of dollars in whatever imaginary or real currency. But whenever that currency gets changed, its inherent value is going to be changed into that domestic currency.
Correct.
Based on what the valuation of that domestic currency is.
Right, which I just said.
That's how Forex
hang on. If $10 trillion just got put into the U.S. economy, would that be inflationary?
No, because they're not putting 10 trillion into the economy.
Yeah, they are, because they're putting it into the economy. They're basically telling, because you're going to have inflationary aspects to construction companies. You're going to have inflationary aspects to jobs. You're going to have inflationary aspects to the purchase of raw goods. These are going to be inflationary. If we saw this during COVID, like when you throw $10 trillion into an economy to do things, job values go up, raw materials go up, all these things go up. So that's an inflationary aspect to the economy.
Yeah, so if there's a global monetary expansion, for example, that's inflationary.
I don't want you to pivot. I don't want you to pivot. I just want to ask you, if $10 trillion got thrown, because we saw this during COVID, when $13 trillion got thrown into the economy, we saw an inflationary aspect to the economy. I saw it in trucking. I saw it in logistics. Like, we went from paying $2 a mile to $8 a mile. It was inflationary. So you're telling me that if we took $10 trillion that wasn't there before and we throw it into the economy to build manufacturing, all of the raw materials not going to go up, all of the wages are not going to go up, all of the other jobs around this to try to maintain their people to not leave their job is not going to cause an inflationary aspect?
No, not by itself, not inherently.
Why would it not? So let me ask a quick question. So if $10 trillion were thrown into Buffalo, New York, $10 trillion for manufacturing, and now all of a sudden, all of these construction companies now have to find employees, and they got to pull employees from other jobs because they need so many employees to build this, to get this up and running, because all this money's going into manufacturing or construction. They're going to have to offer, let's say, $30 an hour because they have to pull people off of the jobs that they're already doing by offering them more money. So you're not going to work at McDonald's for $15 an hour when you can go work at...
I understand your explanation.
Is that inflationary?
So
is that inflationary?
Typically, when that happens, it's not subsidized by the government. It can be subsidized by the government. Usually that's when things go wrong.
Just answer the question.
But typically, what you're talking about is a U.S. bank would receive that foreign exchange. They would expand upon that foreign exchange.
Answer the question.
I'm answering the question.
Is that
you want a direct yes or no answer, and I'm giving it to you.
Is that inflationary?
It is not inflationary.
How is it?
It creates credit, not.
I don't want to. There's no way. We saw it during COVID. If I take 10 trillion, I got to turn the phones off. If I take $10 trillion and I invest, let's say 100 trillion, let's say $5,000 trillion into the U.S. economy, okay? And we are doing nothing but building absolutely everything. There's no way that doesn't cause inflation. The cost to ship goods goes up. It goes up because there's supply and demand. Why are you eliminating supply and demand? Like, right off the bat, I'm giving you supply and demand. There's more demand, less supply, the costs go up. If the costs are going up, that's an inflationary aspect to the cost. So if you're taking $10 trillion, remember, $10 trillion is 1/3 of our national debt. Well, not anymore. 1/4. 1/4 of our national debt. Donald Trump said $20 trillion are coming in. Half of our national debt right now is being invested into the United States. To do what? If you're building manufacturing or you're building things like that, even though manufacturing jobs are going down, you cannot say it's not inflationary. If you do, you're a liar. Now, you can give me other explanations, but you cannot say it's not inflationary. Because I can give you proof it is. Because when the U.S. prints money and gives it to us, we spend it. When we spend it, that causes inflation. So if other countries are wanting $10 trillion of our money, we're going to have to print some money. We're going to have to print some money. If they wanted $50 trillion of our money, we're going to have to print some money. Okay? We're going to have to print some money because that has to be covered. This is how we work as a reserve currency. Other countries want our money to trade in. So we have to print some money. So if there's a new investment of this and you take that money and you throw it into our economy and more jobs are created, that means there's more competition for jobs. More competition for jobs means higher wages. Higher wages cause the price of goods to go up, which cause shipping to go up, purchases of raw material to go up, cost of freight to go up. That's inflationary. That's inflationary. And if you're going to say, no, it's not, I'm hanging up on you because you're lying. Now, you could say, yes, that's inflationary. If we were to take $20 trillion, throw it into the U.S. economy, $20 trillion, and throw it into the economy for manufacturing, if other countries are throwing it into our economy, they're not just giving it to us for free, saying, here's your gift. You know, like my grandma sending me a $5 Christmas check. And she used to actually write a check. That's weird, right? Is that weird? Anyways, they're investing in our economy. They're investing so that they can be profitable with that money, so that they can build something, so that they can make money. So if Japan, I don't understand why people don't get this, if Japan were to build a $10 trillion automotive industrial park in an area, that $10 trillion, that would be inflationary. Adding $10 trillion of business is inflationary. You're going to need more power, more electricity, more people, more water, more trucking, more raw materials. All of that creates demand with less supply. And we saw this during COVID with trucking, caused the price of rates to go up, which eventually causes other things to go up. I don't understand. I'm going to turn the phones on. And Sonia.
His number, 856-600-4654. Sage Outcast. I have questions.
I'm going to play the show.
Looking for safer bets, or at least to try to diversify away from being overly tied to a certain currency. In this case, it means selling off dollar-based assets in favor of something like the euro. The result is dollars flooding the market, driving their value down. Meanwhile,
yes, dollars flooding our market drives the value down, which means it costs us more for fucking to buy shit.
Rising demand
I'm losing my voice.
For the euro pushes its value up. But why is this happening to the U.S. in 2025? To answer that, we need to...
Now I gotta press
Anthony George, I'm so sorry. I won't cuss on.
It's Anthony. I'll give him another shot. Should we give him another shot? Chat, should we give Anthony another shot? Because he was like me.
Oh, thank you, brother. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
All right, go now. Go ahead, brother. What you got?
Okay. No, the one thing I feel like you're getting caught up on that maybe you're not getting, right?
Yeah.
I totally get you. when you print all that money during COVID, the government said, we need money. We need it now. Let's pull it out of thin air. Let's just print it.
Yeah.
Right? That's super inflationary, right?
Well, hang on. If the government prints money, hang on. Quick question. If the government prints $1 trillion and doesn't give it to anybody and it just sticks it underneath its mattress, is that inflationary?
Yeah, I'd say so, because there's more money just being made out of no backing.
But the problem is if nobody ever sees
Printing
that
money is inflationary. Let me just get my point off, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll let you go.
So during COVID, when we printed all that money, it wasn't backed by anything. It was just printed. It was literally, we just needed more cash in the hands of the people, so let's just make it up, right? This situation, all these different places, what it is they're trying to dodge the tariffs by saying, okay, instead of making it here and shipping it, we'll build a factory there on their own dime.
Well, tariffs don't bring back manufacturing.
They're paying for it.
Tariffs don't bring back manufacturing. But anyways, okay. So the first thing is
when Japan takes their money, like you said, the contractors, everyone's got to get paid in U.S., right?
Yes.
That's why we have exchange rates. So if you bring me your money, it's already valued at what it's valued at.
Yes.
And we convert it. It's not printing money because it's backed on the Japanese money.
So when you take 10 trillion,
they're giving us their money.
So if I were to take $100 trillion and invest it into the United States, would that cause any inflation? If I invested it into manufacturing into the United States, $100 trillion, would that cause any inflation?
Saying if you already have the $100 trillion or whatever, and you're investing it, that means you're footing the bill. We're not printing the money. The money already exists.
Listen to me. If I were to take $250 trillion and invest it in manufacturing in the United States, would that cause any inflation?
No.
Why not?
Because that...
Hang on. Okay, so you don't understand. Okay. So do you think... So there would be no inflation in regards to supply and demand of raw materials being purchased?
It would probably... Well, I'm not 100% sure. There might be, if we're producing, there might be a higher demand for the item, but that doesn't mean...
Listen, I'm going to help you with this one.
That our money is being inflated. That means the demand for that item is going up.
Anthony, I'm going to help you with this one. If you took $250 trillion of foreign investment and you put it into construction in the United States, there would be a monstrous demand for steel. The price of steel would go up because supply and demand would allow that to go up. You need so much steel, I can charge whatever I want, and you're still going to have to buy it. That would cause an inflationary aspect to the price of steel.
But, okay.
So
this Japanese company is building their company here. I'm with you.
Stop.
But the cost of steel going up is not
Stop. I'm not done.
Okay.
We're going to take this one at a time.
Let me know
One at a time. Okay? Here we go.
Let me know when you're done.
Now that steel has to be shipped, so much steel is leaving, the cost of the logistics to ship that steel, the supply and demand of the capacity of trucks based on the volume of steel would go up. So you would see truck drivers who normally
leaving where? Right, it's being built in America.
Yes, and truck drivers have to deliver it from the steel plant to the job site.
Okay, I'm with you.
So the truck drivers would then be able to ask for $10 a mile when they were only getting $2 a mile before. That would be an inflationary aspect.
Pretty high speed, but is that not good for the truckers?
Well, it's good for the truck drivers, bad for us.
I don't know if it's bad for us.
Yeah, because you
it sounds
eventually
like more jobs.
Because eventually you have to raise the price of the product you're shipping to cover the cost of the logistics. If you are shipping something for $2, hang on. If you are shipping something for $2 a mile, and now you have to pay $10 a mile to ship your product, is that good for you?
Yeah.
Is that good for you?
No.
Okay.
So if I'm building a company here, how is that bad for the steel companies?
It's not bad for the steel companies.
How's that bad for the truckers?
Because it's not bad for the truckers. Once that product is made, the company, let's say you're building a widget company. the cost of your widget has to be higher to cover the expense of the truck drivers getting $10 a mile and the steel companies getting, I don't know, I'm just going to use an hourly wage, $100 an hour when they used to get $50 an hour. You have to offset the price of your product based on the expenditures of what it costs to make your product.
Okay.
So hang on.
The other thing,
do you
too.
understand
that these companies are going to be paying
Don't
for all
pivot.
that? That's what they're paying.
Do you understand how that's inflationary?
No, that's not inflation. That's supply and demand.
Which causes what?
That's inflation. Is this? Inflation is the government printing money.
I have a question for you. I have a question for you. I have a question for you. Okay.
We're taking their goods. They're footing the bill on this shit.
I have a question for you. My wife wants to ask you a question. Are you ready?
Oh, congratulations! I didn't know you were married.
I'm married to a model.
Oh, congratulations.
Okay, she's gonna want to ask you a question. She's gonna be on.
You right.
She's coming on screen. Here we go.
Imagine.
Yeah, well, I'm not on screen, but.
Okay, listen to her question. Don't disrespect her. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Imagine you didn't have breakfast this morning. How would that make you feel?
Oh, that would, well, it depends if I'm fasting or not.
Failed the breakfast question. Imagine you didn't have breakfast this morning. How would that make you feel? Well, it depends if I'm fasting. Failed the breakfast question. On with the show.
Jump back to the previous year when the dollar was actually climbing in value. The U.S. was leading one of the strongest.
Oh, my point with him is that he can't grasp. My point with him that he can't grasp is the fact that.
Hey, George, are you really not going to let me answer my question?
No, you failed your breakfast question. Sorry, Anthony, you failed the breakfast question. There's no need to continue on. Do me a favor, go look up the breakfast question and you'll understand why. So if he cannot grasp.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
You call me early in the morning. What do you want?
I live in Japan. I thought I could answer some questions for you.
You're from Japan?
I live in
I just got home from the bar. What number are you even calling?
Oh, okay. Well, your question was about inflation? Yes, about 11:10.
Sure, let's go with it.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, well, historically speaking, two things. Japan is changing the interest rates and things like that because they're sick of their money leaving the country and not being reinvested back in.
This wasn't a Japan conversation. I should have just went with Sage dollars. This wasn't a Japan conversation.
Okay.
This was a inflationary aspect of adding $250 trillion to the economy from any country, anywhere. Our aliens land on the planet, and they want to invest in manufacturing. And we figure out that the aliens' currency is worth something, and we're willing to take that currency and give them $250 trillion of American money so that they can build alien software that can find Bigfoot all over the country. All right, they have this special scanner that they can make so we can actually track down Bigfoot. Is adding that $250 trillion to the American economy an inflationary aspect to the economy?
Historically speaking, yes and no.
Historically speaking, when aliens have come down and given us money to search for Bigfoot?
No, I'm referring to, historically speaking, the Bank of England versus Mansa Musa. He was the richest man in all of history, and all he did was just pump money throughout Africa, and it went into the hands of people that were unskilled, as opposed to England, where the money circulated to people that were skilled, that knew how to keep the prices down, even having to deal with supply.
So it is an inflationary aspect to the basis of raw material. Would it be an inflationary aspect to the basis of raw steel?
What's an inflationary aspect due to the lack of skilled labor?
No, not skilled labor. Not skilled labor. Supply and demand. Basic supply and demand. if we all of a sudden have a monster $250 trillion of demand for manufacturing in the United States, to construct manufacturing, and we need steel to do that, would that be an inflationary aspect to the price of steel?
Yes and no.
No.
Okay, let's look at GPUs for a second. Before Bitcoin and all these things.
No. I don't pivot. Don't pivot. No, listen, stay with me. Listen to me. Stay with me on steel. I don't want to talk GPUs. I don't want to talk GPUs. You're not answering it. If you're not going to answer the question, the answer is yes. The price of steel would go up. Perfect. Let's move on to something else. The price to I got to turn my phones off because I'm going to have to walk through this baby step. If $250 trillion, anybody even know how much money that is? Can anybody even grasp the amount of money that is? So $250 trillion. How did you get through? Do I have this open twice? $250 trillion. Okay? Make sure I don't get unalived. All right. Is invested from aliens who we've now established that their money is worth something. We're going to build a Bigfoot scanner. Okay? And to build this Bigfoot scanner, they need to build this huge industrial park. And they need steel to make this industrial park to build the buildings. I know this. I have to go crazy because if I say Japan, everybody's like, well, the Japan manipulate their money. A non-manipulating alien species wants to invest $250 trillion to make something. They then take that $250 trillion and convert it to American dollars so that they can pay construction companies. Now I'm getting an error. So that they can now invest and build this. Supply and demand state now, there's going to be a massive amount of steel that's needed to build the girders to build the buildings. Supply and demand, if I'm a steel company and I know you need my steel and I know you've already invested in that dollar bill, yo, I know for a fact that you're going to want to buy my steel. I can now raise the price of my steel because you need it. You need it. I got it. You need it. Right? That's inflationary to the price of steel. I now have to hire more workers at the steel company. The steel company used to pay $25 an hour. I don't know what they pay. I'm just making up numbers for the love of fucking God here. The steel company used to pay $25 an hour. Everybody that works around the steel company, that works at Walmart, Walgreens, Dollar Store, everybody else is now seeing that the steel company is paying $50 an hour because they need workers fast. They need them. Everybody leaves McDonald's and Walmart and Walgreens to go work at the steel mill. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Now, Walmart needs people to work for them because the steel mill is taking all the workers because they're paying more money because there's such a demand for steel. They can raise the price of the steel to offset the price of the labor. Now you have to raise the price at Walmart to get workers because nobody wants to work at Walmart when they can make $50 an hour to work at the steel mill. That's inflationary. Prices go up. I got to offset the price to pay more labor. Okay. Now we got to ship that steel. We've got to ship this steel. Welcome to my wheelhouse. We have to ship this steel. And the steel has to go on trucks. Now there's only so much capacity of trucks. But we have way more volume of freight because we're already shipping our normal freight. But now we have massive amounts of raw material. Everything from steel to I-beams to all kinds of stuff are now getting shipped in the manufacturing sector. So instead of paying $2 a mile, you're going to have to pay $12 a mile. So what happens? Massive amounts of people come into the trucking industry. How do I know this? COVID. People leave other industries to buy trucks and start driving trucks so they can get that. So whatever industry that guy was in before he bought a truck, that industry, to keep employment, has to raise their wages. Now the truck driver is delivering. So there's an inflationary aspect to the price of the truck delivering the freight. So now, hey, my guy used to be hauling mulch and dirt for landscapers. I can't find a truck to haul my mulch and my dirt because they're all hauling steel. Because steel's paying $12 a mile. How the hell am I going to get a truck to haul my dirt? How am I going to get it to haul my mulch and my landscaping material? I got to pay more money. I now got to pay $12 to the guy hauling landscaping materials. Well, what does the landscaper have to do? When his trucking price goes from $2 to $12, he has to raise the price of his landscaping. Inflationary. Inflationary. Inflationary! And it spirals from there. It spirals from there. Because now you have people working at the construction site because the construction site needs money, so they're paying more. You got more companies that are delivering everything from fiberglass tanks for filtration, fuel tanks. Now, it's all good for the people doing this, but then when that alien, what did I say they were? When that Martian species, when those aliens want to, because I'd buy, if there was a Bigfoot scanner, I'd be buying a Bigfoot scanner. Okay? I'd be buying one. Shit, I'll save my money now. Okay. Because I'm going to find Bigfoot. Just letting you know this. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if you know that about me. But I got this. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. When they go to sell their scanner, they have to raise the price of their scanner because it costs them so much because of the inflationary aspect of everything else that spiraled to build this facility. So anybody that wants to tell me it's not inflationary, please don't call in unless you can counter what I just said. Not about the alien stuff, about the raising of all of the other aspects around getting 210. And I know that's a crazy amount. Nobody's saying 210. But I just think it's funny that no matter what I raise that to, nobody would think that was inflationary. Like nobody, $510 trillion. Nope, not inflationary. What? And I even give them what it's for. It's for building manufacturing in the United States. How would that not be inflationary? I mean, think about it. More trucks come into the market. More people are buying trucks. That means we need more mechanics. That means if you show up at a mechanic and they're like, well, I need this fixed. And he says, well, our hourly rate is $3 an hour now. $300 an hour. What? Well, that's what we're getting because right now there's so many trucks. There's so many broken trucks on the road that I'm raising my rates, bro, to fix all these trucks. You know, right now, I can't get my pickup truck. My pickup truck, where I live in Maine, I'm up here in the woods. There's only a few mechanics. I have to wait a month. I haven't had a truck for a month. And I still have 2 more weeks to wait before I can get 2 control arms put on the front of my truck. Because we don't have mechanics. We just don't have mechanics. So how do we fix that? Either we pay more money an hour for more mechanics to start coming in, right? Pay more money and more mechanics will show up, or you just wait. And right now, we don't even have mechanical shops for them to do shit at. Like, we don't have spots for somebody to put in a lift at a mechanic shop. I know there's portable lifts and shit like that, but they got to get my truck off the ground a little bit. And what's the temperature? Right now, is that what? Oh, 13. Right now it's 13 degrees outside. I'm not working on my truck in 13 degrees. Just not doing it. So I got to wait for a mechanic. Okay. So if you call in, which I've already had 30 calls, you're going to have to explain to me why I'm wrong about what I just said. Sonia, good luck.
His number, 856-600-4654. Sage Outcast. I have questions.
I'm going to make sure I don't turn the phones on. All right. Let's see what we got. Oh, I got to push this button right here.
Tony?
Thank you for calling the Sage Outcast show, Tony. Listen, Tony, I listen, I got my money. I got my VIG. But you got to wait for me to get my money together. Don't send the knuckle breakers. What's going on, brother?
Okay, well, this is Tony from the mechanic shop. Your truck is ready.
Oh, God. About time. What's going on, brother?
Hey, so I think that people get caught up in a semantic game. I think I understand, like the prices will go up if you do such things, but it's not inflation. They're getting caught up with the inflationary term that you're using. Which is not inflation, but prices will go up.
Right, and then when prices go up, that eventually it gets calculated into the part of inflation, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Well, the part of the cost. It's not really inflation. Inflation is when the dollar gets devalued and it takes more dollars to buy the same thing. That's the layman's term of inflation.
Well, how we but how we measure inflation is we take a bunch of line items like energy, food, housing, and we see if those prices have gone up. And that's how we measure our inflation rate. Correct?
Well, I don't know. I think the prices go up, but it's not the term. When people think of the term inflation, it is a correlation with the dollar being devalued. So let's say if a gallon of milk in 1970 cost $1 and today it costs $2, it's because it takes more dollars because the dollar is worth 50 cents today as opposed to being worth $1.
Right, but hang on. But when we measure inflation on a quarterly, let's say quarterly, measuring quarterly inflation, they take a bunch of line items like cost of housing, cost of food, cost of energy, cost of medical. They see that the prices of those items have gone up, correct?
Right.
And that's how we measure inflation. Has the cost of this food gone up? Has the cost of housing gone up? Has the cost of energy gone up? That's how we measure inflation.
Yeah, but I think there are two parts to that. One, the way you laid out so eloquently, I think I agree with that. And two, the dollar not being worth as much.
Well, yeah, but that's
here's something.
That's go ahead. That's one. I mean, that's the dollars. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think this is gonna so it's kind of like here in California, they raised the minimum wage at fast food joints to $20 an hour from $14 an hour, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And the argument against that is, well, that's fine, but if you want to pay $20 for a Big Mac meal, because that's what it's going to do, because you got to cover the cost of that Big Mac, because McDonald's is not gonna. They're going to roll it on. They're going to pass it on to us. Right?
Or they're going to find a way to be more efficient by putting kiosks. Yes, there's two things that McDonald's are going to do. First thing they're going to do is try to see where they can become more efficient, possibly kiosks and things like that. Second thing is when they can't be more efficient, they're going to raise the costs. Yes, that's how it works.
Yeah. So that's your point, basically, that I think you were trying to make. Maybe people could understand that, or what's your opinion of that, raising the minimum wage for those kind of jobs? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, you don't have to answer that. I just wanted to make.
I can answer. No, I can answer. So, if you ask me a question, I'll answer. So, my opinion in regards to those type of jobs, I am not a big fan of raising the minimum wage in regards to those types of jobs. I'm a bigger fan of educating people so that they can get out of those type of jobs. Like when I took minimum wage, it was $4.25 an hour. When I went to my dad and said, "Hey, how do I make more money?" He's like, "Get another job or become smarter." Okay. And you know what I mean? Now, most of you are going to say, I see you took another job. Okay, good point. I actually did both. So I feel that we are failing. We aren't failing on paying a minimum, a living wage. We're failing on educating our people. Like our school system has failed to be able to educate people to be able to get better jobs, even with things like leave no kid behind, which I have met people that have been like challenge accepted. But I think that we failed the people in educating them how to be better, and be smarter, and get better jobs. And all we're doing now is throwing money at the problem. We're just throwing money at the problem. Well, we'll just pay more. Well, are we educating better? Well, no, but we'll just pay more. So we're throwing money at a problem that should be fixed on an education level, in my opinion.
No, I think I agree with that. And that's kind of like one of like Mike Rowe and maybe like Charlie Kirk, one of their points that they were making with education. We're enrolling these kids and we're selling them on higher education, which is not a bad thing, but they're getting into spots where it doesn't pay well, where the construction world, you can get a job here in California right off the street for probably $25 an hour, and in 5 years, you are even non-union jobs, you could be making pretty good money. But if you go union as an indentured apprentice, it's almost like you're getting paid to go to school, and when you're graduated, it's like passing the bar. Or you got you're employed as a doctor. You're making pretty decent money.
Yeah.
And the whole thing. So I think I agree. Yeah, you can't better education on where the money is.
Right. Absolutely. And I'm not just saying go to college for I'm saying possibly go to trade school, go to nursing school. Like, so when I say better education, it's not just go to college to study general study, social sciences. Go and also look at what do we need? Do we need nurses? Do we need plumbers? Do we need contractors? Like better educating people on what jobs are needed, and where to get that training. I think we're failing in regards to throwing a minimum wage at there and stuff like that. I think we're failing on educating our people to be better, and we're throwing money at the problem. And I don't agree at just throwing money at the problem. I believe at throwing, at better educating, to be honest.
I think we agree completely on that.
Right.
And I'm about to enter these hills. I'm about to lose reception. So you have a couple.
Yeah, me too. I'm going through a tunnel. I'm losing you. Sorry. Oh, darn it. Gone. Yes. So, and the point I'm making is inflationary is not just the dollar losing its value. Inflationary is the cost of goods. We measure inflation by line items. We take line items, and you can see these line items when they look at inflation rates. So when Trump says, when we see an inflation of 2.7, we see inflation of 3.5. When we see an inflation of 9, it's not based on, hey, the inflationary aspect of the dollar has dropped. It's based on, has the cost of energy gone up? Yes. Has the cost of food gone up? Yes. Has the cost of insurance gone up? Yes. There's line items that we take, and these individual costs have gone up. And that measure of all of these individual costs going up is the measurement of the inflation rate, the rate of inflation. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to talk about, is the inflation rate. I gotta try to find a comment. Hang on. Sling Blade, comment in the comment section. That's what I was trying to get a point across. And if you tell me that's not inflationary, then you're either you don't know, which is fair, or you're lying to yourself. But when I was talking to Anthony and I was explaining to him, well, that's good. Well, yes, some inflation is good for the person that's getting the inflationary rate, 100%. But down the road, that's still inflationary. If it costs more for transportation, that's inflationary to the business that is paying the transportation. So it's good for the trucker, not good for the business. And that business is going to lose profits. And that... I'll get it.
Jake?
Hello there, fine soul Jake. How may I direct your call?
How you doing, Sage?
How's it going, brother?
Good. Right on, man. Hey, I was just listening to you and the other guy talking and stuff. I think you kind of hit the nail on the hammer a bit there. Like, there's a lot of guys here. I'm in California too. There's a lot of guys out here
you guys all got captured.
That I personally have worked with.
Yeah.
Within the oil industry and the mining industry, that literally came from Burger King a year ago. Like, they just need to be able to jump to a job that's a trade skill or union job.
Yeah.
To be able to afford the difference and pay for how much it costs and whatnot and what have you.
Yes.
But yeah, people going to trade school is a good idea because trade school or getting educated and
yes,
to trades and stuff like that is a good idea.
So would you agree that I believe in my statement that I believe we're throwing money at a problem, like just raising minimum wage rather than actually addressing the root cause of the problems?
Oh yeah, I agree. Okay. I agree. I think that when they raise the minimum wage, especially here in California, it's probably one of the worst things that they can do on a federal level, because now everything that you're going to go and buy is going to cost more because they have to pay their workers more. And like you said, they're just going to come up with a kiosk and replace you anyway in the next 10 years.
Right. So my opinion is, like I said, when people say, and I piss some people off saying, well, we need a living wage. Yeah, we need a living wage, but the problem is you just can't throw money at a problem without saying to yourself, why do we have all these people waking and why can't they be, well, maybe we're not educating them properly. We're not either training them hands-on, providing. And when I say educate, again, like I told you, it's not just educating college. It could be educated at trade school. That's still education. We're not providing proper education for people to make them have these jobs. We're throwing money at a problem and not solving it. In my opinion.
They're not coming up with an actual solution to it, and I totally agree with that.
Correct.
Now, as far as it goes, like, with a whole, can $10 trillion cause inflation? Absolutely, it will. It will cause inflation. I think that if you're going to throw $10 trillion into the economy for any type of manufacturing or union jobs, just, and anything in general, to make people make a living wage out here to be able to survive, you're going to have to do it in increments over 15 years.
Right. You can't just say I did it in 1 year and say we've got $9 trillion, we have $10 trillion just this year. Oh my God, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
But here's
the thing, though. You do have to understand that when the guy talks and he says something, he's probably talking about what's going to be coming in within the next year. Are they going to hold on to that and push it out into the American economy over the next 12, 15 years? I don't know. Maybe he should specify that.
Well, the other issue is
a clear answer.
Yeah, the other issue is these can be promises. And what happened to him during his first term is like Saudi Arabia promised them and then never fulfilled it. So they can say, yeah, we'll do that. And then he takes that and he runs with it. And these are just promises.
Yeah,
they don't have to.
I agree. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I am a Trump supporter, but there's things that he says where I'm like, dude, okay, first off, you didn't sign anything. That's a framework. Why are you telling everybody that it's a done deal? I totally agree. There's times where I'm just like, oh my God, dude, you sound like a fucking retard.
Do you believe it'd be better? Totally do you believe it would be better for him to be honest about the economy right now and saying, hey, we understand the economy's in rough shape right now, and we're going to be doing things to fix that, rather than say the economy's great, go out, it's the best economy in the world? Which do you think is actually better for us to know?
You know what? That is a good question. And you know what? I talked to my friend about this, and I kind of think it's an oxymoron, because here's the thing. If he were to come out and switch it up and do what you're saying and kind of sound a lot more transparent with the American people, a lot of people think it's going to make us sound weak, or him. He thinks it's going to sound weak. And to these diehard Trump supporters, to them, they're like, well, we can't sound weak. And I think that it's not just Trump supporters. I don't think it's like just the Republican conservative side. You do have other, presidents that have been in office from the left that don't want to sound weak either. I mean, especially to foreign policy or foreign government. You just don't want to sound weak. So that's kind of like, yeah, we would like that, right? Because I'm a realist, you're a realist. I would love that, to be like, have him come out and be like, hey, look, I got stuff in the works. Just be patient, guys, or whatever. However you want to sound professionally, but not make it seem like it's promising and that it's there. Right. Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Yeah.
No, I do. I appreciate that, and I think I'm fair. Like I said, I try to have fair conversations. Well, listen, if everybody knows that if you're at least honest with me and honest in this, like I said, when I ask somebody if $250 trillion being thrown in, they're like, nope, not inflationary. That's not. Come on. You know what I mean? Like I picked a crazy number in a crazy situation.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I like you. I really do.
Well, don't tell anybody.
I heard you. I listen to you a lot. I really do.
Oh, don't tell anybody.
And I think the one thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Don't tell anybody you do that because that could get you in trouble. But go ahead. I'm listening. Yeah.
No. The one thing is that I like you because, yeah, you're a Democrat. You vote Democrat and whatever. That's not a problem. That's never been a problem for me. I've always seen straight down the middle, and then you know I veered right or whatever. But the thing is that you're not so far left on things where it's like radicalization of what you say. You're pretty good on economy. You know, you have your stacks and your chips. Me and you have had many conversations before. I don't know if you remember me.
Probably.
We disagree on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes you can get heated, and I'll get heated.
Yeah.
And but either way, I'm always like, dude, I like Sage. I like him because you know what? What you're doing is a lot like you're giving somebody else a chance and a voice. And yeah, you will mute somebody, you will overtalk them, but the only time that you do is when you feel like they're getting misinformation out, and that's totally understandable. And you hold them accountable for it, and I dig it. There's people that I've talked to from the left, man. They will mute you. They won't talk. They'll hang up on you. They will condescend you, and that's fine. I don't care. It doesn't hurt me none because it's a debate.
Yeah.
But the one thing I like about you is you really try to get onto a level and talk with each other, and I dig that about you, dude.
And I try to make it, but if you get to the point where, like I said, Anthony first started swinging at me, off he went. And then when he came back, if he won't be honest with the question, like just be honest. Like if somebody asks me, like you just said, I'll be honest with you. Like I'll answer honest questions. If somebody asks me a direct question, I answer the question directly. Right, because they asked me a direct question.
Right.
So I think the biggest thing I have is that a lot of times when I start cutting somebody off or whatever is they'll run on with 42 different statements and I've got to go back and be like, holy crap, that wasn't right, and I got to stop. Whoa. Okay, so let's slow down here, and then I just want to take it to the basic. Let's just start slow. Is it inflationary for the price of steel? All right, is it inflationary for the price of steel? And when and I give that example. And they still say no, it's like, well, I don't know how to help you because, yes, it is. That's an inflationary aspect of the price of steel because of supply and demand. Like, you can't deny that.
Right.
If that demand,
exactly.
I mean, you can't. But if you still are, then there's no need for me to continue on because that's usually when I ask the breakfast question.
Exactly. And
right?
I think that some of us on the right need to learn how to conversate and to give an answer back and not sound like we're pivoting in any way and just be like, well, yeah, it totally raises the price of steel, but if you do it in the right way and the shape, form, and increments of time over a decade or two, I don't think it's going to cause anything. But then again, what's the point of getting $10 trillion if you're doing it over a decade or two?
Right, that's what I'm saying. So at least, and I try to establish that baseline. So if I can't get that baseline, because even if they say, yes, I understand. Okay, now I understand. Yes, that would all be inflationary. Okay, now you got my point.
Sure.
Now bring your point, understanding my point. But if you can't understand my point, then there's no need to go on. Like, because I'm saying stuff up here, so I'm the one projecting, and then people call in and want to fight that. But if they're not, I have to make sure they understand my point. If I take 250 trillion, if aliens come down, God, I can't wait for the Bigfoot scanner. But if the aliens come down, that's going to be inflationary. Like, there's no way all of those costs are going to go up. That's an inflationary aspect to the price of goods. And that's how we measure.
You can't deny
that.
The history
so if
of
you're
the economy.
right, if you're going to deny that, then there's no need for me to, because now you're never, because that's one, it's not true. I mean, we've seen it in COVID. It's basic supply and demand. Now, if you say yes, but let me run this by you, I'll listen. But if you're like no, well then we can't have a conversation. Because there's no one I could go out no matter how many charts and everything I can show you. If you still don't believe that adding $250 trillion after that thing, then that's when I'm basically like cut people off or hang up on them because there's no need to have that conversation. Sure. But I'm willing to say if somebody's like, yeah, that is one aspect, but let me tell you what happened here with historical data. Okay, good.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I'll listen. Those are conversations, and that's just kind of what I want to do. What I want. Now, like I said, now I'm doing this show more based on the fact that if you own a business, you need to know this stuff, you need to learn this stuff, you need to understand this stuff. Because this is important to a business, right? This is important to if you own a trucking company, and I get a lot of people that don't know it. But I do appreciate your call. I'm gonna jump on another call here, brother.
No problem, Sage.
Hey, sorry to cut you off a long time. I cut him off too
Call
quick.
from.
Press the button. Hi, thank you for calling the Sage Outcast Show. How may I indirectly direct your call?
Yes, this is Timothy Walton.
Yeah, this is Sage. How can I help you?
So, what's the topic? You're talking about inflation, if I'm not mistaken.
We're completely off topic. So, but I was talking about inflationary aspect at the current moment, but I'm completely off topic right now of the show I wanted to do. But that's fine. So, what you got? Well, you called in based on something. So, what did you call in? What did you heard that you wanted to call in on? We'll just go with your topic.
Yeah, I just wanted to have a debate.
Sure.
You were mentioning about quantitative easing.
No.
How that...
Never used the word. Nope. Never talked about. Okay. I never talked about interest rates. Never talked about quantitative easing. Nope. But you can go ahead. What would you like to say?
Okay. So, the government pumping money into the economy is not quantitative easing.
I never said it wasn't. I said the government No, I didn't say that. Did you hear me say that?
No, I heard the previous debate that you had before. And
okay.
You were going back and forth.
So the quantitative easing in regards to the Fed, abolish the Fed. I'm trying to figure out what the topic. That wasn't something that I said. No. I said that if the government can hold money, if the government printed money, let's just say they printed it, it was completely printed. You didn't know about it. They just printed a bunch of money. They stuck it under their mattress, and they printed $1 trillion. At that point, it's not inflationary. It's just them printing money. It's how they let it out. That once they let it out, or once they give it away, or once they give it to the people, and once it's spent, then it's inflationary. Correct?
Oh, okay.
That was one of my statements. Was that the one you're thinking, maybe?
Yes. It was the caller you had like 10 minutes ago, 10, 15 minutes ago.
Okay. All right. Well, what was the point that you wanted to say then? I'll just let you go with that point.
Yeah. And you did mention if someone was to invest $100 trillion.
Yeah. I picked a huge number. Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't cause inflation. Is that your perspective?
No, my perspective is if somebody invested $210 trillion into our country, into building manufacturing, it would be an inflationary aspect to our money. It would be to the cost of goods, which would then cause the inflation rate to go up. It's inflationary to invest $210 trillion into our economy.
Now, why would that be automatically inflationary? Doesn't it depend on supply and demand?
Yes. Yes. Which I gave, so I literally gave, if you've been listening to the show, I literally broke this all down, step by step.
Oh, okay. So what's your current topic now?
What's my current topic now?
Yes. I mean, I just want to debate.
What are you looking to, what are you on the right? So you're just looking to argue?
No, an argument and a debate is two completely different things.
Yeah, but I don't have debate topics. I'm not that type of show. So most other shows that you're probably thinking about have a list of debate topics, and they're like, here, pick one of these, and I'll debate you on this. That's not my style of show, which is fine. I know you're probably new to my show. You probably just found it. But that's not my style of show. I have topics that I talk about. And then somebody might call in and say they disagree with one of the things that I just said, but I don't have specific targeted topics that I debate.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you're thinking?
Well, yeah. Let's just say hypothetically, I'm a Trump supporter.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not, but okay.
Oh, you're not. You're on the left.
I'm
assuming on the political spectrum.
Leftish. I'm logical left.
Okay, so are you progressive, liberal?
A little bit of everything.
What, a little bit of everything?
Yeah.
A socialist? I mean, okay.
Maybe a little. Sure.
All right, so since you're not a Trump supporter, can you list the policies that you think has been harmful?
Tariffs?
No, okay. And can you please go further into that?
Tariffs have been an inflationary aspect causing the economy to drop, and it's a tax. It's a tax on U.S. importers that he does not have the basically power to do through the Constitution.
Okay. And what industry has it hurt the most? These tariffs you claim that has been hurting the economy. Can you give like examples?
Sure. How many jobs?
Effect of how it affect goods and services.
Yeah, sure. It's cost definitely a cost in regards to what tariffs have cost. Logistically, it's caused a freight recession. We have a freight recession. We had a freight recession in 2018 when he brought the tariffs down in 2018, which went into 2019. It's caused a freight recession currently in regards to freight volumes and things like that. Also, it has caused lots of unemployment has gone up because companies like automotive has basically also stated that it is affecting their bottom line. There's lots Walmart, Target, and all these other stores have stated that the tariffs are affecting their bottom line. John Deere, John Bean, or I can't remember the alcohol company out of Kentucky. It's basically said because of tariffs, we're no longer going to we're going to shut down. Do I have to go on?
Okay. So, what do you prefer? Americans buying domestically, or they're going out to other countries and buying their goods?
Both.
Which will go ahead.
Both.
Both?
Yeah, because tariffs don't bring manufacturing back. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know it's not a microwave success. It actually takes like maybe like 10 to 15 years to.
Yeah, even then it doesn't. Even then it doesn't.
No, okay. I mean that all depends on what.
Nope.
Goods you're talking about.
Nope. No, it doesn't.
Are you sure about that, sir?
Yes, 100%. Because the importer pays the tariff. The importer pays the tariff. Okay? So when the importer is paying the tariff, you can see that free trade has actually boosted economies like South Korea compared to North Korea, India in the 1994. You can see countries that have when they have opened up the free trade, they've benefited way more. So when you're looking at tariffs and you say we should bring back manufacturing, when you do a global tariff over every single country, over every single industry, what you're actually doing is we should not be making low-end manufacturing. We should be making high-end, final good, precision manufacturing jobs because those pay more. So I would rather buy widgets and I would rather allow China to work harder for less money than Americans to work harder for less money. So I would rather buy high-end precision manufacturing products from the United States while purchasing low-end, manufacturing jobs from other countries. Wouldn't you?
So you're telling me that if the government is not willing to subsidize these companies, that they won't build it here? That won't give them an incentive to build here?
Well, no, that's not what I said. That's not tariffs. Government subsidizing and tariffs are not the same thing.
No, I'm asking you. Like, if the government is willing to subsidize businesses that are willing to build here, that won't give them an incentive to build here.
We don't do that through.
Here.
Yeah, we don't do that through tariffs. We do that through laws, like the Science and Chips Act. So the Science and Chips Act was a law that would basically give incentives for foreign manufacturers of precision final and goods that we can make here to be made here. Things like batteries, Group 14, building in German company, building in Washington, Samsung building in Tyler, Texas, the Taiwan company building in Arizona. These are high-end precision manufacturing that the government can use strategic tariffs for the moment until they got final Congress to pass laws to establish that is something that can't be turned on and turned off again like a tariff. So that's completely different than tariffs. Would you agree?
Yes, I know that's completely different.
Arguing tariffs with me, if you're pro-tariff, you're going to lose. Because I'm in tariffs. Okay, so I'm in logistics for 25 years. I have paid tariffs. I have shippers who pay tariffs. I know how tariffs work. So it's not going to be a winning strategy for you. But go ahead.
Okay. So do you know how much money the government has garnered through these tariff wars so far?
About $250 billion. Approximately.
Okay. And
now that's not all the tariffs. Now
or-
that's not all the tariffs. Some of that tariffs were already tariffs that were in place, low-end tariffs that we already had. Additional money, I want to say, let's go with additionally $180 billion in tariffs that were that were paid for by the American importing company.
Yes, that's how it usually works, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
And they offset the cost by increasing the prices of
Not
goods.
always. Not always.
The,
They don't
consumers
always.
can,
No,
pay.
not always. They don't always. That's the problem that people think, and that's why they say, "Well,
Sometimes
see, prices."
they hold back.
No, sometimes what they do is.
But eventually they'll let.
Yeah. So the first wave of hang on.
price.
So the first wave is
And the
normally how can we save money? Because you make more money saving a dollar than making a dollar. You make more saving than making. So a lot of times, what the first thing they'll do is they'll do layoffs, which we're seeing. They'll shut down projects, which we're seeing. They'll cut costs where they can, which we're seeing. And then eventually, when they can no longer do that, then they pass the costs on to people like me and you. Do you like paying higher prices for goods?
Sure. I mean, it all depends.
On what?
I mean, if it doesn't really affect me, say if I was in a different financial bracket, like the top 1%.
Okay.
Like, why would grocery goods really cause a hindrance to like my financial status?
True. So that's great for the rich, bad for the poor. So you enjoy.
Of
So
course it'll
perfect.
Be, bad for the poor.
So you, as a Trump supporter,
it all
enjoy.
depends on like my financial bracket, sir.
Yeah. So as you, as a Trump supporter, you support benefits for the rich and punishing the poor. That sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, so who's contributing to innovation and advancement in America? Is it the rich or the poor, sir?
Contributing
like who's creating the jobs? Is it the rich or the poor?
That are creating the jobs?
Yes.
Well, I create jobs.
You create jobs?
Yeah, I'm an employer.
Also?
I'm an employer.
Oh, okay.
I own a company.
Okay.
So when
you're
you ask
doing
things like
quite
that,
well
it
for
is not
yourself,
just
right?
it is not just the rich who do that, right?
So
hang on, you
why
well you asked a
shouldn't the
question.
government
I'm
be
gonna
more
no, hang on.
invested in-
I'm gonna help you out with this because this is another one that people throw at me all the time. So when it comes to the rich and the poor in regards to creating jobs, there are lots of poor people who create jobs. They go out and they seek lines of credit. They start a trucking company. They hire another driver. That's a job creating aspect of things, right? So there are, in regards to small businesses, there are more small businesses than big businesses in the United States. So small businesses are a monstrous proportion in regards to job creation. Okay, when it comes to research and stuff like that, that's done between our countries and other countries. But so are you saying, I'm trying to figure out why that topic came up.
But do poor people own small businesses?
Some? Sure.
Some poor people own small businesses?
Yes, some poor people will own an
that have
LLC.
employees. That's what you're telling me right now?
Some, yes. Some poor people, depends on what you mean by poor, but you're right. But besides that, I get that. But what is your point to the rich people? Why did that come up?
Okay, so you mentioned that Trump policies were mainly focused on the rich and
Yes.
hurting the poor.
Yes, because you said that tariffs are going to hurt the poor more than they're going to hurt the rich, correct?
No, I said that tariffs is a great incentive to manufacture here.
No, it's
which
no.
is
Whoa!
not
It's not a.
automatically
Tariffs are
microwave
not.
success
Tariffs are
because
not.
it's a
Tariffs are
long-term
not a great
project.
incentive.
But
Wait.
government has to
Tariffs are
subsidize.
not. Tariffs do not incentivize people to manufacture here. That's not true.
Okay.
That's why our manufacturing is going down. And let me give you an example. Let me give you an example.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why would I invest $1 billion to build a manufacturing plant in the United States because of a tariff that you can turn on today and turn off tomorrow? Which Donald Trump has done that.
Okay, so he's actually using leverage.
No. Answer my
And it all
question.
depends
Answer my
on how the
question.
country-
Answer my question. Answer my question. Answer my question. Don't pivot. I just asked you a direct question.
I'm not pivoting. I'm answering your question about
No.
turning
Stop.
on
Before
and
you
off.
answer
It
this
depends
question,
on
then
how the
you
country-
before you
it
answer,
depends on
you
how the
just
country
told me.
retaliates.
You just told me that tariffs bring back manufacturing. I said, no, they don't. I said, if they did, let me ask you a question. What? Yes, you did. Do you want me to rewind the tape?
I just said it can be, but it's not a microwave success because
no, you just said they bring it. Okay,
here is a long-term
so now
project.
It's okay. You're going to be going through the 5 phases of tariff denial. So the next one you're going to say is a negotiation tactic. Can you explain that to me?
Yes, absolutely. It all depends on how the other country retaliate, like we've been, like the America has been doing with China.
Yeah.
They lowered back on tariffs when China retaliated by not buying soybeans.
So let me see if I get this straight.
Is that correct or not?
Yes, but let me.
I'm using anecdotal evidence.
No,
was I correct in that or not?
It's out of context. So let me explain to you Let me explain to you what happened there. Stop. Hang on. No, because you're not. It's not. Let me explain to you what happened.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish. Let you finish.
China was purchasing the normal amount of soybeans, large amounts of soybeans from Biden. They were purchasing. Now, this also happened in 2019. This is why I know this, okay? In 2019, the same thing happened. When Donald Trump put tariffs on, China stopped buying soybeans. Brazil and Argentina stepped up to fill the soybean need for China. They became the new customer. So when Donald Trump took office, he did the same thing again. Now, remember, they were buying soybeans under Joe Biden. I can show you the charts. They were buying soybeans under Joe Biden. Donald Trump comes in.
What's your point?
And I'm trying to explain to you the negotiation tactic of your boy. Donald Trump comes in and puts tariffs on China. China stops buying soybeans. They stop. They were doing it before. He tariffs them. They stop buying soybeans. Donald Trump then lowers the tariffs, and they start buying soybeans again. So your answer is Donald Trump. Your answer is Donald Trump.
It all depends how the country.
Your answer is Donald Trump created a problem, and then Donald Trump that we didn't have before. Donald Trump created this problem, and then negotiated his way back to where we were before Donald Trump created the problem. And that's your negotiation?
No, that's called trial and error, sir.
No, it's not. You just said it was for negotiation, and then you gave me the soybean tactic. And now you're I gotta go. You just said it's a negotiation tactic. And then you said, is that you brought the soybean in? And then you said, is that anecdotal or is that a fact? No, yes, it's a fact. So what you want, your answer to negotiation was there was no problem. He created a problem. He fixed the fact that he created a problem, and now it's all better. And that was your answer to negotiation. So you negotiated your way from no problem to a problem to no problem, and you're like, see, he's brilliant. Do you see how good? And then when I say that it was in it, you said, no, that's not negotiation. That's trial and error. So you just pivoted off of your own point. I gotta see who's coming in. If it's the same guy, I'm not taking the same calls. Thank you for calling Sage Outcast Pivot Center. How can we pivot your question today?
Man, that guy was kind of a nut, huh?
Yes. Donald Trump, it's a negotiation. He had no problem, no problem. See, he made it all better. That's the best I
Yeah, I know.
What you got, brother?
Hey, just a quick comment on some of the stuff you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Because you're a big fat idiot. Baba.
We're going to have to call him back. I have to call him back. I like the guy, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to save him as the Baba Booey guy. Hold on one second. Hang on. Don't call him. You know what we're going to do? Here's what we're going to do. Let me rename him. Let me rename him right now. And you know what we're going to do? I'm going to call him at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to do like a Baba Booey on him. And that's what we should do. How do I rename him? People. Yes, this one here. Oh! Hang on, here's what I'm going to do. I'm only going to make one phone call out. Okay. Now I'm saved him. And then I'm going to call him back. All right. I like the Baba Booey guy, to be honest. And I don't mind it if, like, I'll be honest with you. I don't mind. Oh, is he calling back? He's calling back. Perfect. Hang on.
Labidi.
I'm only going to make one. I like the Baba Booey guy. I do like the Baba Booey guy. I do like, because he never uses foul, completely foul language, and he just picks on me and calls me names, which I think I'm cool with, brother. I do like the Baba Booey. Yeah. So I just saved your thing. So expect a phone call like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I do like the
Baba Booey.
Yeah. All right, let me get this one. Hang on.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello.
What up?
What?
Hey, I'm learning so much today.
Goldfish.
I learned watching your show that poor people give jobs to other poor people, and that and yesterday we learned that the Somali fraud in Minnesota was all fake.
When did you learn that?
When you were talking about it yesterday, when you were trying to I've never seen you cope so hard in my entire life. That was hilarious.
Did you see the interview of the guy that worked at the daycare center?
That weird like gay guy that you had, that weird gay guy.
No. Today, did you see the guy that actually owns the daycare that was at the daycare center today that said that?
Yeah, today they brought other kids in. Oh yeah, I get it. But why were all the windows blacked out?
Because that happens here too. There are daycares that are run by.
Oh, sure it does. Yeah. So
are you gonna let
really believe that this fraud is not going on?
Do I believe there's fraud going on? Yeah, I believe there's some fraud.
No,
sure.
Do you believe that the amount of fraud is going on, or do you believe they're just like kind of making it up?
I think they're making some up.
We need something for the.
I think they're making it up. I think they're making it up, making some up. Yep.
So, do you understand what Somali is like? Like what the Somali is like?
What's your point?
Do you have any idea what that country's like?
So let me quick go back to some of this thing that you already pivoted from. Okay, Goldfish. So the first thing is the guy from Somalia come in. Do you understand that they went there? First of all, windows are tinted at some daycares, and I explained this. They don't want people looking in and looking at the children. They also do it in regards to keeping. We tint windows here to keep sun and stuff like that for heat, stuff like that. So windows do get tinted, or they'll put blinds on the windows, or they'll put shades over the windows. That's a common thing. Like when I have shades and stuff on my windows so people don't look in. The second thing is when they went in there, they also showed up before they were open. They didn't open up until 2. So they were there. So and he even said, you can come here any day you want after 2, and there will be cars here. We open at 2. They went there before 2.
Where are all the footprints in the snow from the kids?
It was a parking lot that was plowed, bro.
You really are coping hard on this one, bro.
I'm not coping hard. Like, you're looking for footprints in the snow in a parking lot.
We know they were empty buildings. We know it's fraud.
Okay, then why would he say? Hang on.
It's unbelievable that you cannot even.
I don't know what to tell him. I mean, I just told him they were not empty buildings. They're there now. You go there after 2, and they're there now. And he even said, come here any day you want after 2, and there will be people here. Also, it was Christmas. People were usually home during Christmas. So go there. Now, the problem is you can't just go there once and say, see, I got them. What they need to do is go there multiple times. And let's actually see if nobody shows up. Isn't that fair? I think that's fair. Goldfish is a moron.
Kevin Jones.
Oh, hello, Kevin Jones. How may I help you?
Hey, what's going on, Sage? I just had a quick question for you.
Sure.
Could you tell me the difference between inflation and market growth?
So, inflationary aspect would be the cost of goods going up. Market growth would be able to show some type of.
Wait. So just goods, the cost of goods.
No, cost of goods and services. I'm trying to be brave about it because I technically should be ending the show. Market factors would be a actual demand for that good, the specific good.
Right. Now, say if a country was to pay for something that happens over here, would they not be inflating their own money, having to print their own money so they could pay it off?
That's possible, sure.
Because, like, the scenario I heard you explain to a caller earlier, you were like, man, you know what? They're going to need more steel, so the price of steel is going to go up, and then these jobs are going to pay more because there's going to be competition in the marketplace. That kind of sounds like growth. That sounds like a good thing.
Well, it's not always good, right?
Well, yeah, I know it's not
Okay,
always
so hang on. Let me explain.
Okay,
let me explain
it's
where.
not based on anything, and the government.
Let me explain why you're getting it wrong.
Blacks buy Jordans. That's not good.
Yeah, let me explain where you're getting it wrong. So that's why we have an inflation rate of about 2.5%, 2%, because a slow growth and a consistent slow growth is good. A rapid throwing of money or a rapid growth of inflation is not good. So if Donald Trump says that this year alone, $20 trillion has been invested into the United States, that would be a rapid growth, which would mean a inflation rate would skyrocket.
It wouldn't be inflation because we're not printing it. It's based on their money. They're giving us their value. Like, what if they were to pay us in gold?
They're not.
You understand how that wouldn't be inflating because now we have
let me
the
ask
gold,
question. So let me ask
then
question.
Motherfuckers have the job.
So would the price of steel go up?
Yeah, if there's more to demand, isn't that not a good thing?
No, it's not a good thing always, is it? It's not a good thing to the people buying the steel. It's not a good thing to the people buying the steel. And I've already gone through this whole conversation. I'm not going to repeat myself. So if you're calling in to go over the same conversation that I've already explained, just go back and argue with yourself. Because I don't need to explain it twice. And send me the video of you arguing with yourself, and I will air it on my show. Is that better? Because I just explained this. So when I say inflation, yes, inflation is good. Market growth, an inflationary rate of 2% is where we want to be. Correct? How did you get through? I'm not taking calls. Somehow I turned my phone off and it's still ringing. You know why? Oh, that's probably why. That's probably why. Okay, all better. So that inflationary growth at a 2% rate is good. But that is a good flow. And this is what if all of a sudden $500 trillion was invested into the United States, that inflationary 2% growth of market growth, which is good, would skyrocket to 9. So just because other countries are giving us the money, we then have to convert it to U.S. dollars. And we then have to use those U.S. dollars to do things. That's inflationary. The price of diesel would go up. Why? You'd have more demand for diesel. The price of electricity would go up. Why? You'd have more demand for electricity. The price of food would go up. Why? More people would be buying food probably. The price of goods would go up. Why? More people would have money in their pocket to buy goods. Those are all inflationary aspects. And I don't, if you can't comprehend that, I don't, like, you can say there's other factors, but if you're going to say that that's my statement right there is not true, and you're going to say, no, that's not inflation, I can't help you. I literally can't help you, to be completely honest. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. If you guys would do me a favor, hit the like, share this out. I used to say find me more dum-dums, but it looks to seem like I've got large quantities of dum-dums today. Listen, this is basic economics and basic business. And if you're looking to run a business, now do all poor companies have, I didn't say all poor companies. Somebody said, do poor people have businesses? The answer is yes. I had a business when I was poor. I opened up a business when I was dirt fucking poor. And I built that business to become profitable. So yes, sometimes poor people have businesses. You know what? You might consider you technically are poor, but you have a business as a sole proprietor as a 3D printer. Or you knit hats. Or you print shirts. You're probably poor, but you have a business. So yes, poor people have businesses. Not all businesses start rich. Sometimes you're a poor person in a garage, and then you end up being Apple. Right? I'm just trying to, I'm trying to explain this from a point of logistics and the economy. Oh, Garrett, what's going on? Okay. Thanks, brother. Yes, so poor people will have businesses. Yes. Businesses all don't start rich. Some start poor. Microsoft, Apple, Amazon was a book company. Elon Musk? Yeah, some start poor. So I hate when people say, what, poor people employ people? Poor people have businesses? Yeah, that's how they start. Yeah, what's your definition of poor? That's a good point, too. What's your definition of poor? That's a great point. I don't know. Poverty level? Really honest, you want to know the truth? Most businesses start nowadays poor. It's wild because social media can allow a business for somebody who did not have money to figure out to make something, promote it with social media. Next thing you know, a video goes viral. And guess what? Boom, they're rich. Just being honest. So no, and it's a blanket statement, and I don't like blanket statements. All right, that's my point to that. It's a blanket statement. All right? Because I've been poor. I'm not rich now, but I've been poor. And I have a business, and I've employed people. I'm trying to employ people now, but I right now, currently, YouTube pays me slave labor wages. And how am I going to buy my Bigfoot scanner if YouTube's paying me slave labor? You guys, how much is a Bigfoot scanner? You know what I do have? Hang on. Listen, I got it. Listen, right there. I purchased a packet. I'm on my way to find Bigfoot because Bigfoot could be a ghost or an alien. So I've got my stuff. I'm ready to go. So if you're an alien out there and you're looking to invest in a Bigfoot scanner machinery and you've got 500 trillion US dollars because it won't cause inflation, let me know. Because I'm with you, bro. I got to get out of here. I'm losing my mind. See ya.
Hello, Sage. This is Cody. Or how...
God damn it, Cody.
Is my name Cody or Colby? I'm not really sure. So, I will, there in fact, internally... Hang on a second. God damn it. I'm trying to... Wait a minute. I think your name might be Sully. I don't fucking know what your goddamn real name is. Alright, give me a call back. Wait a minute.
Join the Discord. Meet Cody.
Sage. I'm sorry. Please don't record this.
Ah.